So, everyone, I called y'all here to announce that on March 8th, I will resign as the chairwoman of the Republican National Committee at the request of former President Trump. Yes! Up top, Michael. Of course he'd do that. I'll see you in Houston very soon, Donald. What the heck is that supposed to mean, bird brain? I hang for a town hall where it's just me, on liberal CNN, low in the ratings CNN. It's just a town hall where it's just me, and it's happening in Houston. Her acting like if it's a real-life debate going on. Huh. Oh my God, no! They tricked me. Well, I'm gonna get going. I'm gonna head back to my office. Bye, everyone. Everything all right, Mitch? Yeah, I guess so. I mean, hearing that Ronna is going to resign has me thinking, do I need to resign now and escape the embarrassment of staying in until the end of my term, where more people will be calling for new leadership? Mitch, you have led this conference longer than any other political party conference in the Senate. You surpassed Mike Mansfield, a liberal Democrat from Montana. You are a giant in this conference. You're a hero to us all, Mitch. And we're not trying to pressure you to resign or anything. It's the American people that want new leadership, new generational leadership, not politicians from yesterday. And yes, that does suck, but we need to accept what the American people want. And you endorse Donald Trump? A man who is almost in his 80s? Oh, yes, big time. All right, Ted, I need to get back to work. You can go leave now. All right, Mitch. Oh, Trump pressured Ronna McDaniel to resign. Who knows? I may be next. Calls for new generational leadership aren't that big of a deal, Mitch. Who said that? Who's there? It's me, Mike Mansfield. Who? The guy that was previously the longest serving Senate leader in the history of the Senate. And then you surpassed me. Oh, yeah. Aren't you dead? Yes. Oh, Lord, I'm crazy. I knew it. Oh, no. This is just my ghost. Oh, all right. Why are you here? I came here to talk. All right. Mitch, do you know when I was majority leader of the Senate? When? I was majority leader of the Senate from 1961 to 1977. During that period was the biggest change in American history. For my party, especially. President of my own party assassinated. And then 5 years later, his younger brother, one of my Senate colleagues, was also assassinated. And then around that same time, one of the most inspirational leaders of the civil rights movement, Dr. Martin Luther King, was also viciously shot to death in Memphis. That summer, my party oversaw the most chaotic convention in its history, and the protests that ensued because of it. It was like an invasion of anti-Vietnam protesters. The brutality, the horror, and the torture people had to go through those days just because they wanted peace is insane. People were beaten, tortured, even arrested. Some people were even dragged on the streets. Many of them died just because they wanted peace in Vietnam. It was horrible. And then I was leader when a president resigned over his role in the most corrupt scandals in American history.
There's the president waving goodbye, and you hear the applause.
I was leader during the biggest turning points of American history. You were as well, Mitch. So you and I have a lot in common. Basically, all those turning points were just a big replay of 1968? Technically, yes. And what's happening right now in 2024 is basically 1968 all over again. Why? Because the Democrats are holding their convention in Chicago once again. And we have a war going on in the Middle East, and Arabian Americans, they are very furious with the president over genocide in Gaza. So many have planned protests in Chicago the week of the convention. So it's going to be a repeat of 1968 all over again. Either way, Mitch, the whole world is watching. But you eventually retired, didn't you? Well, yes, I did. Because I thought, I was the leader of the Senate from the start of the Kennedy presidency into the aftermath of Watergate. That is a long time period, and I felt it was time for me to go, to bring in new generational leadership. And the Senate got new generational leadership with Robert Byrd. And you retired that same year, right? Yes, I did. I feel like I'm being forced out by my own party. Well, 1968, it felt like a big push out of our own party. Pretty much everyone was split. We were all forced out. We didn't have a choice, Mitch. And whatever you decide will either help the party or hurt the party. The decision is all up to you, just like I did, Mitch. I hope you make the best choice for the American people. They suffered enough chaos from both parties already. I can tell. Yes, that's true. Well, thank you again, Micah. Mike? Mike, where'd you go? Mitch, who are you talking to? Oh, I wasn't talking with nobody. Nobody. Not a big deal. John, there's something I need to tell you. Yes, Mitch? I've been thinking about this for a while now, and I think it's time. What do you mean? It's time for me to pass the torch to a new generational leader. So at the end of the 118th Congress, I will step down as leader of the Senate Republican Conference for the best interest of this nation, and I will continue to serve the rest of my Senate term. Wow. All right. I want to notify the press about this, so I'll make a speech on the Senate floor. Let everyone know, John. Of course.
This is CNN Breaking News.
Good afternoon, I'm Anderson Cooper. There is breaking news coming from Capitol Hill. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell has just announced on the Senate chamber that he will retire as GOP leader of the Senate in November. Let's tune into his speech. It is clear that I have done my part, and now it is time for the passing of the torch. So, at the beginning of the next Congress, I will not be Republican leader of the Senate. I will be retiring from that role at the start of the next Congress. I will step down in November and let someone else be elected to this wonderful job. I have led this conference longer than any other party leader in this Senate. That is a huge accomplishment. And I thank all my colleagues on the other side of the aisle or on my side of the aisle for having my back in the good times and the bad. Some moments weren't so good. Some moments were good and very bipartisan. I will never forget all these years as leader. I have been blessed to serve this long. Thank you. Thank you very much.
And now, a sneak peek at our next video.
Alright, y'all, you may have heard this from a recent film that was in theaters, and that became a whole meme all around the world. So please stay in your seats. I got a bonus for you. Oh dear God, can we please stop this? We're already in overtime. It's too late. I already started dancing. Once I start, I can't stop.
Oompa, loompa, doompa-dee-doo. I've got a tragic tale for you. Oompa, loompa, doompa-dee-dee. If you are wise, you'll listen to me.